let's get to the real goal for Sara, and that is to find a husband.
Yes. Yes, guys.
We had a little bit of an intervention.
My husband.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I don't know that song. My lips are dry.
I thought you just got up to put on Vaseline.
When?
I could have sworn.
Welcome back, guys, to the Cousin
Connection
Podcast.
Ooh.
And welcome to the new year for all those out there who are making new changes in their life. You know, hopefully it's another good year for y'all. We're going to be talking a little bit about that today. I had a list of stuff and I just realized it's on my camera that we're using to film our guest today. Well, at this point, it's like
She's
a
a
third
regular.
co-host. It's like
I'm
regular.
a regular.
Yeah.
I'm a reoccurring.
Got my sister here, Aysha,
person.
again. I didn't say her real name.
That's
I should
fine.
get props for that. No?
They know that.
What? No, because I always say the first name first. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
You see the silent clapping? There you
Yeah, so if you're watching this for the first time, thank you for following our channel and also subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and hit the notification bell and do all that stuff. Apparently, I already mentioned that.
What?
Or like if you tell people to do too many things, they don't do it. So you have to tell them to do one thing.
You mentioned all though.
Yeah, whatever.
So-
It's all good. I'm going to cut out all that extra stuff.
Just subscribe at this
Yeah.
point. Okay? We're really trying to hit our goal of 10K.
Yeah, by the end of the year, inshallah, we're going to double our numbers and we're going to hit 10K this year.
Y'all got 12 months now.
Inshallah.
Okay?
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about first, Sara? What do you want to bring in the new year with?
Well, first of all, the new year, I feel like it symbolizes the start of new things. There's that newfound motivation, even though it's just another day on the calendar. But don't let anybody shame you. If you have goals, work on them. I know last week we've kind of talked about what we wanted to do in the new year, the goals that we had. So I think we should
I
start.
already have a couple for you.
You have a couple for me?
For you.
I already know what you're going to say because you're so predictable. Be on time.
Number
That
one.
would be a great.
Exactly. That would be number one, of course.
To be fair,
Yeah.
I was not home.
Okay.
There's
okay.
always an
And
excuse.
then-
Exactly.
There's
Yeah,
always
it's just
an
my
excuse.
life is
And you know
just
what? You know what?
a series of events.
The second goal, not the second goal. Let's say this is the third one because the second one I feel like is a little more important. But the third goal should be to get a car.
I am.
Sara has been
Inshallah.
saying for the past 6 months she's going to get
No,
she's
but
going to get a new car.
Here's the thing.
What?
Actually, someone literally DM'd me and they're like, Mabruk on the car. I'm like, when did I say I was getting it? I don't have it yet.
They're manifesting it for you.
I know. At this point, it's a community struggle. No, the car that I want is just not available yet. So I have to wait.
Get a used car. Come on.
No, I want a new one.
Why do you want a new car?
Because once I set my eyes on it, I'm just like, I need this car. Like, this
You
is the
don't
car I
need
want.
it, okay?
Okay, it's a very strong want, but
Yeah.
the vehicle itself, I need that.
Have you driven it?
No, because it's literally not like they don't have it in
Oh.
Canada yet.
Then how do you know you even want it if you haven't driven it yet?
It's just what I've been eyeing.
Why don't you
Nah.
drive other
So-
cars?
Yeah,
just to
drive
test
other
it?
cars. Yeah,
You've
do
never,
that.
you've never you've never actually started the car looking process if you haven't actually test driven anything.
I've only test driven like the 2022 model.
Have you been? So you've been to a car dealership at
Yeah,
least?
no, I
Oh,
did.
okay,
I
okay,
went.
okay.
I
Okay.
went.
She
and
started
then
the process.
Okay,
then.
exactly.
Okay.
I was like, when are
Exactly.
you guys getting the actual car in your dealership? And they were like, we'll know by January, and that was 2 months ago. So they're like, if you want, they have the 2022 and the 2023 version. I looked at it. I was like, I'll
What?
wait. Like,
Okay.
I'll just be patient.
Okay,
Fair
we'll
enough.
see if that works out. You know what car you should get?
What car should I get?
I feel like you should get a Toyota 2015. Just get it
Oh
with.
my God.
Make sure at least it has Bluetooth in it.
Do you have like a cut or something?
Okay, no. Okay, it doesn't have to be a Toyota. It can be a Honda as well. Just any like
Speaking
reliable vehicle.
All
you need is Bluetooth and maybe Android Auto, and that's it.
You mean Apple
Just to get
CarPlay?
you from-
Like, get it right.
Whatever. Just to get you from point A to point B. That's all you need.
No.
Did
I
you see
feel
the new
like-
Camry? Side note, because
What?
it's so nice that I was like shook at how nice it looked.
Then get the new Camry.
I
Or
know
don't
if
get a
it's-
new car. That's the thing, because people don't realize
Why are you
there's
so against
depreciation.
it?
Okay, there's depreciation of vehicles, and especially these days because the price of vehicles are going down so quickly. Like you can buy a vehicle and it'll lose its value almost immediately, pretty significantly.
It's
Because-
always been like that though.
Yeah.
It's always been
But
like
now it's like it's exacerbated. No, it's almost like it's process
worse.
is worse because of the fact that the market is changing so quickly.
It's not that deep. Just get a car that you like
nothing
and enjoy
replaces
driving.
that. Like, you tell me, because I feel like she gets it. She's gotten a new car before. That feeling where you first drive it off the lot, like, aren't you super giddy and excited?
Then why don't you lease?
Cheesing all the way home.
Then why don't you lease then?
Because I don't own the car.
You don't.
I lease.
Yeah, you might as well just lease at that point if you want a new vehicle.
Yeah,
and then you can buy it out.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like for your first car, it wouldn't be horrible to lease, because what if you end up hating the car? You know, and now
That's
you're
true.
stuck with a car forever versus 3 years.
That is a good point.
But then at the end of, like, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, you're paying money and it's coming out to your account. So whether it's coming out to your account so that you can own it in the end, I feel like it's not as serious as like buying a house. Like, you know, that, like, okay, like if you're renting, they say it's like a waste of money, which I still don't technically agree with. But like, at least with a financed car, you're like paying, or like a financed house, you're paying into owning the home, which then you can sell for a lot of money.
That's true.
But a car, it's not really like you're paying into it and then you can sell it for a lot. You're gonna sell it for like a fraction of what you actually got it for.
But you could like pay the lease, but then if the value of the vehicle, I think if it drops,
you could do a lease buyout or something.
Yeah, you can buy out the lease at the end. So if the value drops significantly, I feel like you can buy the car out for cheaper. So then what you would have gotten if you bought it straight up.
Yeah, but and that's not a bad idea, but you can't customize if you lease, right? Like if you wanted.
Why do you want to
features.
customize?
I think I'm trying to think. Maybe you can't customize, but I know like I waited for like I wanted peanut butter interiors, so like they just like told me they're like one was coming, so I just waited until it was there. So I don't know if you can technically customize. Maybe not.
You can just pick the colors,
but you can pick an option. Like there's like luxury options or like the regular option or sport option, whatever. You can pick different options. I don't think you can technically like customize it fully though. Like.
Okay.
But do you really want to customize? Like, are you like, oh, I need to get a black vehicle that's new and like has like red interior or something like that?
Well, honestly, sometimes dealerships will just randomly put together those options and just have them. So like I would suggest if you know 100% this is a car you want, like get friendly with the dealer. Yeah. And then whenever there's a car, because they'll know like, a couple of months ahead of time. And if you let them know like, no, I want one with like black interior, leather only, like this mode, whatever, just be like, let me know when something like this comes on the lot. Then they'll call you up and let you know. Okay. And you can usually put like a deposit on it so no one else takes it.
I might do that. I'm pretty sure it gets released in the US first. Yeah. So part of me was like, ooh, maybe I should just get it. But then the only thing that throws me off is like, one, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, you can't do that also. It's not possible to like buy a car in the US unless you buy it like fully cash. Yeah. You can't finance over borders.
Right. And even then, like the speedometer is going to be in miles. It's going to be annoying.
Yeah. And also, you know, have you had insurance before this?
I'm on insurance right now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say people who don't have a history of insurance, if you buy like a new car, a lot of times I had insurance prices crazy because I know for me it was gonna be crazy. Like I had work insurance. I had work insurance for years. I had regular insurance, right? So that's gonna be a big thing too.
You're sweating, Miskeen. And
we're back. Honestly, I mentioned this last week. I hate DSLRs and all these special cameras.
That's not even a DSLR, is it?
So much to figure out. You know, I tried to be cool out here and use 4K, but that's not working. Gizmon's tired because she's been waiting like 40 minutes for us. Or Aisha's tired here because we've been waiting 40 minutes. Okay, it's been a long day. You know, we're just gonna bang out this podcast.
Listen, guys,
fully defeated.
Start to the new year.
Hopefully we get. You know, we should just do an episode in ASMR.
No, I don't want to put people to sleep. Okay, we're not trying to turn people away here.
I think you should just try doing.
What we were talking about was your next goal. Okay, guys, what? Okay, we're gonna get back. We're going to get back. We're going to get back to what we were talking about before. Okay. Okay, guys. I am done and over with this. Okay.
So the debate between whether you should purchase or lease a car.
Yes.
Forget about all that.
What?
Okay, we talked about it. We finished it.
Whatever.
Scratch that all off. Okay? Let's get to the real goal for next year, and that goal is something we talked about as a family. I mean, for this year, for Sara, and that is to find a husband.
Yes.
Yes, guys.
We had a little bit of an intervention.
My husband.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I don't know that song. Husband.
Literally, guys, the day I get married, I expect Amir's wedding speech is going to be like this. Hello, everyone. My name is Amir. I'm Sara, and I do a podcast together, and this is my speech. Finally, mic drop.
And just walk out.
That's crazy.
Wait, am I expected to make a speech? That's gonna be weird.
Of course.
Ew.
Yeah, what?
You even
gonna
need
be
it
so awkward. I can already see
I
it.
know, and we're just gonna be laughing.
I'm not gonna be awkward. I'm actually a very good public speaker.
I know, but you do this voice.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Really, Amir,
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You're literally talking to the two people that know you best.
Yeah.
You don't think we notice these things about you?
What voice do I do?
It's kind of similar to your podcast voice.
Do you need a tissue?
Am I sweating that much?
Sweating?
Look at the.
Why are you pointing it out, Sara?
Because it's just glistening.
I'm good. I'm good. Okay, you can't see it on there. Now we're filming on 1080p because I f 4K. Okay,
it's okay.
We'll figure it out.
I think you're not awkward. She's right. It's like this voice that you put on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an announcer voice. Like it's a presenter voice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that not what you're supposed to do? What do you guys want me to do?
I mean,
when it's like a speech to your family member, like you kind of want to. Like I get nerves, but you want to still make it personal. Like you want to sound like you.
Like you sound like a business presentation. Like you're trying to sell us on something instead of just talking.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah, you do. You literally do.
Okay. Maybe but that's how you
capture the attention of the
that's
audience.
how you capture the attention of the audience. You get people's attention. It's because at the end of the day, it's not really for you. It's performance for everyone else.
Yeah, that's true.
If it was for you, I would just do it on one-on-one.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's really just reality of the situation. Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna get through that speech. I think I'll just cry. I can't talk about emotional things. I'm just gonna cry.
Like during Sabri's wedding.
Damn,
no way this man is making a protein shake. Is that what that was? So Yassine was sitting here a second ago.
Yeah,
and he just got up and suddenly we just hear
we hear the blender go off.
The blender go off. This man just left us to make a protein shake.
But I thought I was gonna cry during that wedding speech.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still haven't seen any footage, so I don't know if it's good or bad.
you guys, all the footage was lost.
Yeah. Well, no, they have the footage.
Yeah.
I think it was just
the audio was lost. The audio was lost.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So.
Why don't you guys just do ADR?
What's that?
It's in movies how after they film.
Oh, they redo it.
Yeah, they redo the sound. Just do that for the whole thing. Redo all the sound. Do the background noise.
That's so
you guys have
crazy.
people come in and make
actually
foliage sound. Not foliage sound, but that background noise sound.
The feet shuffling on the dance floor.
Yeah, the feet shuffling. You get the moms come in and they do a little performance for everyone.
You have to get Adham to re-sing all the songs.
Exactly. Make it a whole production. That'd be a cool thing if you could be that next popular viral TikToks we lost all the audio for our wedding video, so we redid it all with everyone to come back for their voices or whatever something like that.
If Sabri was into editing and stuff, he could do that for their 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, make it a 60-second one. You don't have to do the whole thing, but just the main parts.
That would be kind of cool still.
See, I'm just saying, man.
Sabri.
Ideas, man. I just come with them. That's
Take
all
notes.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't come to me with ideas about cameras because I apparently don't have any idea. I'm still gonna go on that. Okay. We tried. I'm not gonna give up on it just yet. I know we were talking about that.
Really? Because I was ready to just say return it.
Nah. And, I feel like we can still make it work. Okay. We'll see how this turns out. Okay. Sorry, I keep talking about the camera, but we'll move on. We'll go back to what you guys tried to distract me from, or you tried to distract us from, which is the fact that we're going to find you a husband.
The fact that we're putting this on an actual episode now is
it's official now.
The pressure's on, okay?
Exactly.
Because as you guys know, we've been doing our weekly TikTok lives, and y'all have been coming for me. Okay, the attention deflected from Amir now to me. Everyone's we're going to leave him alone a little bit.
Yeah.
We've annoyed him enough. They bullied him enough. And now it's my turn, and I'm just dang, I don't like the hot
Well,
seat.
just like to be fair, it wasn't only Sara technically. Okay,
What
it was
inspired
like,
this, Amir?
So,
What
it wasn't even me.
this?
I just walked into this conversation.
No, I'm setting you up for like setting the scene for the
Oh,
audience.
okay. So we were all at Sara's nephew, my nephew. Sorry, Sara's. Technically your nephew as
He's
well.
all of our nephews.
He's all of our nephews. Sorry. Yeah, it was his birthday, so we had all the fam come over. We were playing games. We were chilling, and when it gets to that like late night vibe, everybody's kind of chilling. They're trying to just figure out what to do. And you start having conversations, right? So one of the older cousins, they started bringing us all together, and of course the topic of marriage came up. And
it's funny because we were about to play another game,
Yeah.
and then I was like quietly summoned. Do you remember that? My sister-in-law,
Wait, you were summoned
yeah,
over?
we were like about to sit down. We were sitting there, and she's like, "Can you come to the kitchen for a second?" And she looked so excited.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, I already know where this conversation's gonna go." Like I already knew.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay." And then,
But you weren't alone.
well, at first it was a one-on-one conversation,
Okay, yeah.
and then eventually she called on my sister-in-law's brother
Yeah.
and her own brother.
Yeah.
And then it like slowly started to expand, and it became like this full-on like
Intervention.
red table talk
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly.
It really was a red table talk.
Like we were sharing like these deep thoughts.
We
It
were
was
literally all around a table. Not a red table, but a table.
Island.
Yeah.
An island.
island talks.
Island talks.
Island talks. Oh, next podcast
good
idea.
name.
I'm just saying.
but it was actually like, I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like I liked hearing from everyone's perspectives, and like we all took the time to listen to each other. I loved that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and they were asking like, why have you not talked to anyone, or like, what's stopping you? Clearly, Sara's already mentioned this a bunch of times. It's always the fear of rejection. I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, that specific thing was
Yeah.
like, why don't I make the first move as a woman?
Yeah,
And I said I would never do it
yeah. You wouldn't do it for what reason?
because I have too much pride, Amir.
Yeah, it's the fear of rejection. Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has that.
Yeah, but like what I was trying to say was like guys should be used to that by now, because I feel like it's natural.
What do you mean guys
for
should
them.
be used to that? Oh, by like going up to people?
Yeah, like as in like I know rejection sucks whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Like, that's inevitable, but you should be used to like the gesture of making the first move.
Do you, when you say that, do you mean literally being like, hey, I want to pursue you intentionally for marriage? Like someone actually saying that? Or just like what do you mean is making the first move? What is that? Like talking to someone?
Yeah, I would never. That's crazy.
Like in person?
to-
Like just like to say hi? You would never just go up to someone and say hi?
No, I would do that. I think.
Is that not making a first move though? I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I think like I get what you mean by like I would never make the first move, but I think when you say that,
I mean, like
I think what
initiating
you-
the conversation about
marriage.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that should be. I mean, I don't agree or disagree. I think if a woman doesn't want to like actually be like, hey, can we be intentional about this and like let's talk about marriage? If a woman doesn't want to do that, I think that's okay. Someone obviously has to, but I think like making the first move is just as simple as going up to someone and talk and sparking a conversation.
I definitely think I can, like, that's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Then I
fine.
think just like shifting your perspective on that will like help you just like be more open instead of just being like, I don't want to make the first move, like I'm a woman, he should be doing that, blah blah blah. But it's like just keeping yourself open to like, whether you necessarily think like making the first move is again just talking to someone,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
a first move, and you are kind of making the first move. So if you are already able to open yourself up to talk to someone first before they approach you, why are you limiting yourself to saying no, but I would never make the first move in terms of like initiating a conversation about marriage? Because
true.
I wouldn't say they're both the same, because you could just be talking to someone to talk to someone, like have a conversation.
Yeah.
But that is kind of part of making the first move. So if you're already halfway there, don't limit yourself and be like, well, I would never do that.
I mean,
I think the fact that you're saying you'll never do it is like you've already kind of closed the door. It's
Exactly.
like it's not going to happen.
It puts like a limiting like thing there.
I think. Is he trying to come in?
Is he trying to come back in?
Oh.
Come on. He texted me. He's like, can I come back in?
If this guy messes with our focus. Oh, you made me want to.
That's so cute.
Oh, because
so nice. Here.
the reason he made one is because we were talking shit the other day.
Why?
He was saying that he makes really good ones. I was like, mine are better. Here's the official taste test. Okay, let's see. Did it capture focus again? Come on, camera. Yeah, I think it's good. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, let's see. Sigh.
One thing about Amir, he will never say something. I make gourmet meals, and this man will always be like, "It's all right."
Okay.
He will humble me.
It's good. Okay.
Better than yours.
Really it tastes like a milkshake with protein.
You know.
But anyways, back to the conversation. Like, what do you think about what we just said? Essentially, does that shift your perspective a little bit?
So, like, I think growing up when I was a lot more naive, I was also just like very open to. You guys know I've always been very social, and I still think I am, but I just think life has humbled me a little bit. So now I'm just like I don't got the energy, and maybe it's because I haven't met that person that made me want to make the first move.
That's fair.
So that's why I keep saying like, oh, I'm never gonna make the first move because I just haven't like. If I was to look at the single guys that I know in my life, no offense, I'm sure they're all wonderful people, but I don't think that I view them in a way where I'm like, yeah, I would totally make the first move.
Right.
And I think that goes to another part of the conversation we had where it was making sure that you're putting yourself in environments where you have the chance to meet those people, right?
Yes, and we were talking. Yeah.
You're right. I don't want to say specifics, but like there was examples thrown out of like people who are like working from home, not going anywhere, and being like, I'm just waiting for this guy to pull up to my door and say,
he's not talking about me because I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. But yes, there are people who think that way, and it's like you have to put yourself in those positions, in those environments, to be able to meet people. If you're not, you can't just expect. I mean, unless you just have a great network and like people will suggest. I feel like the times for that are kind of past though. Like maybe in the past, like the parents would have been like, "Oh, I have a son, I'm gonna do it," And in a sense, sometimes that still does happen, but like I feel like generally, because of the type of people we are, we do like to seek it out ourselves as opposed to like having like a parent be like, hey, I have a son. So like because of that, you have to put yourself in situations where like you are able to meet them. So whether if you work from home or your routine is, wake up, go to work, come back home, like maybe instead you got to change that from like wake up, go to work, go to the gym, then come back home, or instead of working from home one day, work at a cafe. And like just switch different cafes every time.
Or
go
getting
to the library.
involved,
like I don't know.
Or getting involved in programs where like the type of man that you want would be doing this. Like let's say you really wanted a guy who was involved in the community, so like, or even just helping the less fortunate. So you go to like a food drive and you volunteer your time there
Islamic
every week.
Food drives. They have a ton of them in Toronto.
Exactly. Going
and like,
there.
And that would be a great person to like get to know, like someone who actually cares about volunteering and like all that kind of stuff. And you're more likely to speak with them, interact with them because you have to, right? It's part of the job or part of the thing you're doing.
I think people who say things like, oh, I don't want to leave my house. I just hope that the guy comes and knocks on my door. I think there might be like a level of anxiety or like just the putting yourself out there. There's that fear, right? Because yes, fear of rejection is one part of it, but like we also kind of just came out of a pandemic, and I know we've beaten that topic dead to the ground, but like it actually has impacted some people in more ways than we think.
I feel like it can be that, but I also feel like a lot of it has to just do with delusion and thinking that it is extremely easy to just find someone and get married. And like it's like this, like you do kind of have to put in the work, it's not even necessarily even putting yourself in those situations, but putting in the work to like working on yourself. If you're trying to attract, or if you're trying to like be with a man that has certain characteristics, you have to like ask yourself, do you have those characteristics that type of person would want? Like if you're saying I want a man that's like this and that and makes this income and whatever, do you have those characteristics that would attract that type
I want
of
a man who's punctual.
Do you remember do you remember we asked that once though, like are you your type's type?
It's
basically that. Essentially. I saw that subtle shade.
That's like saying, I want a man who's tall.
Okay, first of all.
Okay, that's very different.
That's
is it different? No, is it different? No,
not y'all. No. No. It doesn't work like that, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. But yeah, no, I get it does. It's kind of a little delusional.
Yeah.
But I think people do. I don't think people think it's easy to get married anymore. I think we realize now, like, if you're in Toronto, the dating scene is a little. It's not easy. It's tough, honestly. And if you're on apps, that's basically like, what they say, the pits of hell. Like,
but I think it's only become harder because of the thing we mentioned, where people don't have third places anymore.
Yeah.
Before, when people had third places, like back in the day.
Can you just like elaborate on the third place just for anyone that might not
like
get it?
like places that you would go to outside of work and home, right? So like third places back in the day used to be like going to your local club, like I don't know, give me a club. Badminton club, exactly. Yeah. Or like going to the volunteering at like your local shelter.
Yeah.
Or just volunteering time at like the library. It's like simple places that like you would find like-minded people.
Yeah.
Right? Those have been like lost completely, especially after COVID. So that's maybe going to your point with the whole COVID thing, is that because a lot of those third places were closed and people didn't build those habits in like very important times of their life or significant parts of their life, that it just never became a thing. And now people are kind of not realizing how important that really was.
I think thinking this just kind of popped into my head, but like when I was in university, like my school, I was in business school, and they made it like a huge point, like literally multiple times a week there would be these like networking events, and it would literally be like different clubs would put on networking events to connect like past alumni that work at like, I don't know, these corporate offices now, and like just networking. There may not necessarily be a job available, but just to meet and network and and it kind of taught me the importance of like, oh, okay, if you're actually trying to, for example, attract a type of job or attract an industry or whatever, you actually have to you can't just like sit back, do well on your grades and all that, and like sit at home and do nothing. Like you actually have to put yourselves in those situations.
Exactly.
Meeting people, it's annoying to like have to get dressed and like have to be like, okay, I have to talk to these people today and like whatever. But what it did, at least for me, was train myself to understand that, like, say for example, in the industry that I'm in, the influencer industry, if I'm trying to attract certain brand deals, if I'm trying to attract certain things, I have to go to these events so that like there's at least some like visual, like I'm talking to the people, I'm like, just putting myself out there.
For sure.
It's not necessarily what I want to do. Like I want to be at home, I want to be doing my content, whatever, but in order to further my career, I have to put myself in these situations, and applying that also to like, finding a man or a wife or a husband, whatever. It's I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but it kind of is. Like if you're trying to, have a certain outcome, you have to put yourself in those situations to have that. You can't just like sit at home and expect it's going to happen. You also have to put the work in, like put the work on yourself, on just like, everything, like mind, body, soul, all that.
Yeah. Like we were literally talking with someone the other day, and I don't know why I didn't put this together, or maybe I forgot about this reason, but like I was asking them, like, why would you sororities seem like such a weird thing, like why do people, it's like, oh, it's networking. The reason people do go to sororities or join sororities because of the networking. Like you have a huge history of alumni who are now connected in different industries, so you can speak to them and they can mentor you and help you out in your career.
Like Yassine was actually telling me, because we were in Canada, we didn't really learn that much about sororities and fraternities, but he was mentioning, like, say for example you're applying for a job and like you were in a fraternity in the past or whatever, and there's like two really really great qualified candidates, and one of them just happens to be the same fraternity as like the guy that was like working for the job or whatever. He's automatically getting it because of that network. Do
you put that on your resume? Like, how do they know?
Would you put that on your resume? It's like an extracurricular.
Really?
It's something you're paying into. It's a membership. It's a membership essentially.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
See, so that was something that kind of was more eye-opening to me, right? Because typically people within our culture or background don't join things like that, but now it's becoming, I've noticed like how we can benefit from it by as well. And also having representation and all that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Having that common ground with someone from the same community as you. What do you call it?
Finding common ground. Like you might not know the person. They might be like from Sweden, but if they're like, oh yeah, I'm part of this association, they're like, oh cool. Like you feel like you're, there's almost like a familiarity, even though you have no idea who this person is. It's very similar to that.
Even broader than that, just being Muslim. Usually can open a lot of doors for you, and like
for sure.
Because at least you have like you mentioned, that common ground with them, right?
Exactly.
So then like, okay, for the guys and the girls that want to sit at home and think that their significant other is just going to pop up out of nowhere. What's your advice? Like, how do they navigate that? What's that third space that we can now look for post-COVID?
The internet is a big third space. And like how many stories are there of people who met on places like even Twitter?
Yeah.
People who have met on Twitter. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have met on Twitter because you're.
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
There you go. Literally,
Plenty
an
of
example.
Yeah.
Twitter, even Instagram. Yeah. Instagram is one of the biggest ones. Honestly, yeah. That's why
you have to be like consistently posting, like to put yourself out there in order to actually be noticed.
I mean, not necessarily. It's just like it's an option. You know. Like, it might not be your option.
Yeah.
You know, but it is there.
Yeah, you see a guy you really like, go through all of his pictures and hit the like button. Right? Send a message.
Yeah.
See? Or just go to like one random photo because, they look at that one.
Yeah.
But they do that a lot of time. But yeah, if you don't want to go outside, your third space you have to find it on the internet. But then it also goes to the same thing where you're finding places where people will be very like-minded to you. Like, let's say you're really into chess. Like someone, you might find like an online chess community that you can interact with people. Eventually, you start to get to know the people in that community. Eventually, they'll have an in-person meetup, right? There are a lot of conventions, like nerd conventions. I just call them nerd conventions, but you have like Comic-Con and you have like
Culture
PAX
Con.
and all these things. Any Culture Con, yeah.
Marvel Con.
I don't know if they have a Marvel Con.
Oh, okay.
That's part of Comic-Con.
They have Anime Con.
Yeah, Anime Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those places, when you go there, you meet people who are like-minded as well.
There you go, guys. There are some examples of your third space.
Yeah. But we wanted to, and also, if we're keeping halal here, the mosque is also a nice.
I think that's honestly one of the best places to like. Yeah. I mean, it can be tough because I feel like, especially in a city like Toronto, there's so many different mosques and like people go to different communities because this one might be like Habesha, this one might be Somali and whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We do a little circle around all of them during Ramadan. Mosque hopping.
And a lot of them have events going on. Like you can check out like Heyyyy House, who's always having events here and there where you can meet people, most likely Habesha or like some East African type.
Or like that place you guys mentioned, the place that has those events. Like
Half Note?
Half Note. Yeah.
Yeah,
places
Half
like
Note.
that.
Yeah.
Those are like third places. Like you have to like, it can be annoying to like, be like, oh, I have to do this like once a week or whatever. But like it's part of life. It's like you want to, regardless of if you're like, even if you're already married, like just going out and just expanding your network, meeting people, meeting friends, like all that, it just like enriches your life.
Exactly.
The hardest part is always showing up because once you're there, you kind of start to embrace the environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, just guys, we're getting married this year, okay?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
One thing that I want to mention, because you guys mentioned like goals for the year, one thing that like I saw recently was splitting your year into quarters, like 12 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And like planning out, instead of making New Year's resolutions or like for the entire year, just look at every 12 weeks. 12 weeks is way easier to think about than 12 months, because a lot can change. But in 3 months, like things are generally, I wouldn't say they're all the same, but like you can see March. Right. You can't really see November. Like that's so far ahead. So I think like making those goals, and they say I forget what the exact percentage is, but it's a quite large percent of people's resolutions. They usually, by the time February or March rolls around, they're not doing them anymore. Yeah. Especially with the gym. Like you always see this every single year. January, February, March starts to trickle off. By April, like that place is back to normal. It's empty, not empty, but like it's back to normal. It doesn't have that push. But it's like if those same people just made it a goal, instead of for the year of 2024, I'm gonna do this. You could just say for this quarter, for these 12 weeks, I'm going to commit to going to the gym 3 times a week. And you commit to that for 3 months. 12 weeks is not long. Yeah. And then at the end of that, you look over like what you did for those 12 weeks. You're proud of yourself. You do the check. Okay, next 12 weeks, I'm gonna try to go to the gym 4 times a week now. Yeah. And you're just adding one. It's so much easier to do that than like tell yourself you're gonna work out 6 days a week at the beginning of the year. You're never gonna. You might do that for the first week of January, and then the rest is just like downhill. You know. Yep. You gotta like create. What is it, like SMART goals? I forget what the acronym stands
you build
for.
you start small and you build on top of that. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Definitely. And you don't have to wait till the new year. Like a lot of people, they think like if the new year's 4 months away, don't say, oh, wait till the new year. Because at that point, you might not even be motivated to do whatever you wanted to do. So I always say to people, like, if you want to do something, start now and start small.
There's no such thing as like clean eating starts Monday or I'm going to start Monday. Start Sunday. Start Tuesday. It doesn't matter what day of the week you start. Just start. Yeah. If you're telling yourself you're going to do this, start the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just do it.
Do it. Just do it.
And don't think you have to start it all at once. Like, you know, you cold turkey is probably the worst thing a lot of people can do, depending on what you're doing. Okay, cold turkey, if you're stopping something, like, depending on what it is, but for majority of the time, it's not going to work.
Yeah, just pace yourself, because if you're trying to do, like, what's that one saying? Something wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Neither was your body or your mind or your goals or whatever.
Yeah, like, take it easy. Yeah. Just take it each day by day. And, you know, inshallah, it's going to be a good year for all of us.
Yeah. Are you guys into, like, vision boarding and mood boarding and stuff?
Did
you guys talk about that last time?
No, someone asked about it on our live. Yeah. I think my vision board was kind of weird. They made us make one at work.
Did you
like,
find the
years
photo?
ago. I can't find it.
Work.
Oh.
Yeah, but like it was like what your life wants to be, what your life wants, what you want your life to be, and I think I had like a Peter of like Lupita Nyong'o or something.
Oh my god.
And
that
then
was
I had
his dream girl.
I'm screaming.
and then I had like an older gentleman, like a black guy with like kids surrounding him with like the globe in the middle, and they're all like holding hands in a circle. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a bunch of kids and take over the world.
Oh my god.
Very big goals, you know.
I've never actually made a vision board, but this is the first year where I'm actually considering it. Like I've started like writing things down just in my notes app of like what I want it to, like what I want to be on it. But like what shifted my perspective was something that I think I heard it on Mariana Hewitt's podcast, and she was talking about how she's a huge journaler. She writes in her journal every single morning, like without fail, and then also makes vision boards every single year. And she was like, the reason why you do it is because, and it's like, you don't just make it and then like you keep it in your computer or whatever. She's like, I put it in a place where I see every single day so that I'm at least inspired by like my own, like what I want my life to look like every single day. And it kind of reminded me of something that I did when I was in university. It was my last semester of university. And I didn't create a vision board, but I just I scribbled on this random notepad because I knew I wanted to do YouTube like full time, at least for like the 6 months after graduation. So I just like wrote down like a few goals that I want for that. And I was like, I want to hit 100,000 subscribers and I want to work with these 10 brands. And I think I wrote VidCon or something. This was in January.
Oh my god.
By the end of January, I got invited to VidCon. By June, I hit 100,000 subscribers. And by the end of the year, I worked with majority of the brands on that list. And it was a list that I looked at every single day. And it was literally just, it was not aesthetic. It was nothing. But it's like every single year after that, I made another list of like what brands I wanted to work with. And I noticed like in the past like 3 years, I didn't do that. And I'm like, I was so motivated by just seeing that and by myself and like all the goals that I had at the beginning of the year and just looking at it every day. Like it was so like useful.
Yeah.
And like, alhamdulillah, like I'm still proud of what I've done in the past 3 years, but I'm like, if I had just sat down and actually thought about exactly what I wanted to do and saw it every single day, like how much better could my life be right now?
Right.
You know, so I'm like, I'm kind of inspired to like get back into vision boarding, and I'm actually going to like make it on Canva or something and print it out and like put it in my office so I could see every single day. Like I'm going to frame it and just look at it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and this doesn't only have to be with like career and stuff. Like I want to put things of like, I wrote down like all the places I want to visit this year. So I'm going to like put those countries up there too. I'm going to put my like, you know, spiritual goals.
Yeah.
You know, inshallah, I want to go to Umrah this year. So like if, you know, I'm going to put the Kaaba and just something that I can see every single day. So I'm reminded this is what you wanted to do at the beginning of the year. Like you still have time to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's actually a good point. I think like in the past, I don't know why, I just never felt inspired to make vision boards.
Yeah.
And I would kind of just like have my New Year's resolutions or just like goals that I wanted to achieve in the coming year in my head. And sometimes like if it were like, if they were like bigger goals, like, I don't know, wanting to get a promotion or whatever at work, like that was something that took priority over, I don't know, getting a car, for example. And so I would work hard towards my career, but then the car thing would take like the back seat. And so I think having a vision board kind of puts everything on like an even playing field. And because you're visualizing what your goals are, you're reminding yourself, like, you could be working on one goal right now, and then in 3 months you're like, oh, you know what, like I really want to work on this goal now, so I'm gonna put in more effort towards whatever that goal is.
Exactly. And like the whole thing that we talked about like planning your year into quarters, like every quarter you can look at your vision board and be like, what can I achieve from this in the next 3 months? As opposed to just making it and being like, this is for the year. Like doing that will actually give you like, it's measurable. Like in 3 months, I want to accomplish this. And you see it. And I think also in that podcast, someone, she mentioned like one of the girls that she knows, she puts it like on the outside of her, I guess she has one of those showers where like you could see, like it's like a glass shower. She's like, she put it on the other side. So she looks at it every single day as she showers. Which that could be a little extreme, but putting it in a place where you are actually going to look at it every single day, like is much better than, like you said, like you might have those goals in your head. And I do the same thing, but like everything you forget.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
you might think to yourself, oh, I need to like pick up, or I need to take out the chicken in the fridge. Like, you know, you think about that in the morning and then it's the end of the night. You forgot to do it because you didn't write it down.
How do you keep yourself not responsible, but like accountable for like certain goals?
You do like, so okay, here's one thing that sometimes like when I have to check myself, I'm like, okay, at work I feel so organized, like I'm on top of my game, like you know, especially because I'm in charge of a team, so I have to be on top of I have no choice but to, because if I don't have my shit together, then they won't have their shit together. And I'm doing, you know, bi-weekly check-ins with my people, making sure that they're good in order for me to be good and finish up whatever I have to do. But I'm like, why don't I do that in my personal life?
Exactly.
Is that what life coaches are for?
Essentially.
I feel like life coaches are for that. Like you tell them, these are my goals. Like I want to reach like you mentioned, like this many subscribers. I want to get to this weight. I want to buy a house or get an apartment, something like that. Like these things. Like I feel like a life coach, now I'm thinking about it, would be someone who would keep you like on those goals, like keep you like being like, hey, you haven't hit these numbers that you said you wanted to hit on this.
Yeah.
But I think like,
I feel like you need someone to like keep you responsible.
I mean, we have to keep each other responsible for this, but like, you know, even the fact of like making a vision board for the year, it could be something as simple as like you have, you know, maybe 3 goals that you want to accomplish in the next 12 weeks. And then when the 12 weeks are up, you do the audit and you do the self check-in, and then you're like, okay, you know, I didn't get to do my 3rd goal, but I did the first 2. So for the next 12 weeks, I'll add that one to the top of my list and then add 2 new ones, for example. Yeah. And you kind of just do that check-in. Maybe 12 weeks is a long time to do the check-in. Yeah. But you could do it like every month. Like, you know, obviously this can be cut out of the podcast, but I'm thinking about it like
no, we'll keep it in.
Okay, well, I was thinking like even for us in terms of like growing the channel and really just taking it to the next level, like treating it like an actual business, like having business meetings, having brainstorming sessions, having like those types of conversations, to kind of basically just shift our mindset into like the growth mindset. Like we're here, we want to go there. I feel like there needs to be
it's all about like once you set out like, okay, this is something I want to achieve, even if it's as simple as like buying a new car or getting that promotion. It's not just as simple as saying those things and writing it down and seeing it. It's like, okay, if that's the goal, what are the next 5 steps for me to achieve that? You know, in terms of finding a car. Okay, what car do I want? Do I have the money saved up for it already, or do I need to continue to save? Figure that out. Have I test drove the car? Going to like there's specific things that you're gonna do. And I think in terms of like visualizing, I just recently got like a weekly like calendar. Like it's literally acrylic and it goes on my fridge, and it's just Monday to Sunday, or Sunday to Monday. Sunday to
what?
Sunday.
No,
anyways, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
Sunday.
Okay. And every week I just write in exactly what I have to do for that week. So it could be as simple as like, okay, if you know you want to do whatever you have to do, put something in that week that's going to get you closer to that goal. Like it's not just sitting and like hoping it happens and like, okay, yeah, I'm doing a little bit of the work, but like let's give a simple example as like, I want to lose 30 pounds this year. Okay, so in this next 12 weeks, what are you going to do to lose those pounds? What are you going to get to start on that. So in your to-do list, your weekly to-do list, you just put in, okay, I'm going to work out 3 times this week. So you're going to put in your workouts, the exact times you're going to work out, especially like if you have a busy lifestyle, it's important to have that, put it in your Google Calendar, put it everywhere that you can see and you can physically check it off. I remember when I was in high school and I went through like a huge like weight loss. I think I lost like 30 or 40 pounds or something. I had it was
Athlete X. I remember that. It wasn't not Athlete
P90X.
P90X. Yeah.
It was literally this was my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I had a calendar right there. You could literally see the dot still of like where I put the like pin.
Yeah.
I had a calendar there and it was just like a monthly calendar. And every single day I put an X when I worked out. So that I knew like when I'm looking at it, I slept right there and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I worked out every single day this week. And it feels good to like physically cross something out. So that's what you have to do with all of your goals too. Like you have to like look at it, visualize it, and actually like, you know, plan it out just as you would like your team, like at work. Plan out your life the exact same way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could be daily check-ins too. Like I'm not a huge journaler. I would love to become one.
Yeah.
I've never been into agendas or any of that, even when I was in school. But that, you know, if you are someone who likes to write things down, it could be something like that, like writing in your agenda every day or like your journal. Okay, this is what I did. There's like habit trackers, which is apparently really good. I actually want to get into that. I feel like having like a digital habit tracker would be really good because then you can put in your habits of like, okay, I want to work out 3 to 5 times a week or whatever. Put that in your habit tracker. You could physically check things off. It'll ask you questions at the end of the day, all that. And it's as simple as just waking up, putting a few clicks and then keeping yourself accountable that way.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like you're accountable for yourself and like the only person you're really going to be disappointing is yourself.
Exactly.
If you don't reach those goals.
Yeah.
So that's like the ultimate thing that you're trying to avoid, just disappointing yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, you know, no one else really cares. Actually, no, if you have family that loves you, like, depending on what your goal is, they will care.
I think accountability partners are great and they're super motivating. I think like Yassine and I are both accountability partners, you know, when it comes to like our health goals, which has been like very positive for both of us. But you know, obviously you have to do it for yourself first. But if you can have a partner to help you with that, a friend, a sister, a dad, brother, mom, whatever. Yeah. You know, it is helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
So what other goals do you have then, Sara?
I think I just wanted to be more consistent with everything that I do. Like not just one specific thing.
What do you mean more consistent?
Like if I say that I'm going to stick to a specific routine, because for me, I've noticed over the last year that I thrive when I'm in a routine. The spontaneous thing is just not for me. Yeah. Like it doesn't work for me in every aspect. And so if I stick to a routine, like I just have to be consistent with that. So, you know, you guys know Amir and I were both sick in the last couple of weeks, hence the random hiatus. But for me, that was like a huge reality check because not to like get into it too much, but like, you know, that was a reality check and I had to do a lot of like rethinking health wise, you know? So now I have that perspective of like, I need to get my routine in check and stick to it because that's what works for me. And I know Amir's probably like, I've been telling you that a routine is what you need. And I know. And you know what's crazy is that like, I've set up my environment to thrive in that type of routine. Like I've made everything so convenient for myself, but I still don't stick to it. So
I think the main thing I kept telling you this is that, and for everyone else, is that always make sure to put yourself first. Like don't let other outside factors dictate what you're doing in your life and how you're scheduling your life and all that. At the end of the day, like your health and your wellness is what matters most. So like don't let any other, whether it's work, whether it's friends, family, or anything. Of course, it's good to be, you know, like if friends and family need your help or something, it's good to, you know, be there for them. But like if it really affects your health in a negative way, like sometimes you have to be like, hey, sorry, I can't come here and do that for you. Or if it's your work, ask me like, sorry, I can't do these hours for you. You know, I'm currently going through something, you know, so I have things planned. Like, so that's a big part of it. Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't be waiting until shit hits the fan. And then I'm like, sorry, I can't do it because of whatever's going on. But as a recovering people pleaser, you know, that's a lot easier. That's a big part. But, you know, like one big step was like working with an actual nutritionist who also like basically plans out workouts and stuff. I feel like she's more than just a nutritionist. I know like I keep putting that title for her and I think I might have spoken about her before, but she's almost like sort of like a life coach too, because she kind of encompasses like all aspects of my life. And so I find that like working with her has actually been like very beneficial. And that's someone that like holds me accountable, because I have to do weekly check-ins with her. And so I literally have to sit there and summarize, how did the week go? Did I have a good week? Did I have a bad week? Did I do my workouts? Did I stick to my meal plan that I'm you know, working on? And it's not even a meal plan of like, oh, because I want to lose weight. Like, I'm just trying to live. I'm trying to survive. That's literally it. Like I've had to simplify my goals, because it went from like, oh, I want to be stronger and healthier, to now it's just like, I just want to live. That's it. That's literally it. And I'm not dying, guys. Like, I don't want you to think like that was kind of dramatic. I'm fine. Alhamdulillah. Like, it's just like, I'm just adjusting what works for me. And like we were just talking about the whole like consistency and having a routine, like just last week when I had my check-in with her, and she was like, okay, like, she's like, I know you don't like this whole like new year, new me type of thing, but like, she's like, use it to your advantage. Like, if you have that newfound motivation, or start on like you were saying, like start on a Tuesday if you want. Like, you know, you don't have to wait until Monday or wait until January 1st or whatever. Like, just start.
Exactly. And I feel like also, if you have a certain goal and like, or like, let's say your goal was like to not use social media as much, or like not snack out as, I don't know, like just small things here and there. I literally have the worst self-control. Like, if there's snacks in the house, those snacks are going to be done in a week, right? So I tell people, and whether it's social, if you have social media in front of you, if you know you have easy access to it, you might find yourself sitting there for 2 hours just looking at your phone, scrolling through it. So the ways that you can avoid doing that is just by not having it there at all. So like doing things that might seem extreme, but like not allowing any snacks to be in the house at any time. So if you want one, you literally have to go out and get one.
I was just going to say, like, that was a huge problem for me in 2022. So 2023, like, anytime I would go grocery shopping, do you know, it's like you have to fight your impulses, especially if you go when you're hungry. Biggest mistake. Because everything looks good.
See?
But if I know that, like, if it's at home, it's game over. So if I want a snack, I got to go out.
Exactly.
You know?
And deleting, like, we were speaking about this before, deleting like any delivery apps. Doesn't matter what delivery app it is, delete it. You don't need that.
It's a trap.
Because even for me, I had to like for snacks, that was a big thing. Like, I had make sure not to have them in the house. Whenever people come over to the house and like we have like a get together, whatever, I tell people, just take the stuff with you. I don't want it. I don't want it in here, right? And like, there are apps that like can control how much social media you're allowed, or how much screen time you're allowed to have. So, and like, let's say you have a partner, you say, hey, so put in a code here, because I believe you have to put in a code or something like that. Put in a code that only you know, and the only way I can get access to it outside of the time that I want to look at it is by asking you for the code. And of course, they won't give it to you, you know, if they're not an enabler. And you have something that controls the amount of time that you're on those apps.
That only, like, if it's social media in particular, that only works if you don't work on social media. Like, it's tough. Like, if you were like, let's say you were just suggesting it to, and I know you weren't, but like,
well, that's like a very small population, right? We're dealing with like general population, right? Then for sure. People who don't usually use it for that, or don't have any like aspirations to do that, then it seems more reasonable, right?
I feel like the whole snack thing, like in the grocery store, what's helped me, because I love the grocery store. Personally, it's the third place for me. I actually enjoy he knows I enjoy going to the grocery store. Like, it's just fun for me. But if I'm trying to, like, you know, stick to my health goals, going in with a list and actually just checking it off and getting nothing else that's not on the list, unless it's like healthy and it's like a vegetable or something that you need for an ingredient. Just sticking with that and leaving. Like, for me, that's helped cut down the time of me being in the grocery store, because I could be in there for a full hour or more.
I can't believe you like it that much.
I've always, literally, when I was in high school, I used to just go to the grocery store for fun, just to look around. I don't know. It's just, it's so a chef. Odd. Maybe if there's other people that enjoy cooking.
Good into cooking. You were big
into cooking.
You were.
If there are other people that enjoy cooking, that might be a thing for you. Like, I just like studying the fruits and the vegetables that are in there. I'm like, oh, what's this? Like, it's just kind of fun for me. But going in with an actual list helps me just like get in and get out,
for sure,
without looking at everything else. You know,
that's actually very true.
And honestly, it also like for me, I hate wasting time. Like
Yeah.
I'm opposite.
Yeah.
I hate being in grocery stores and all that stuff. So it also speeds up the process. Like you
Yeah.
spend less time in that place because you have everything kind of like ready to go. You're like, okay, this is done. I'm out of here, right?
But I feel like you've mastered it because you've eaten the same thing for the last like how many
That
years.
helps. Yeah.
So his grocery list has been the same every single week.
Yeah.
And I actually like it just stopped recording just now.
What were
All
we talking
right,
about?
we're back.
Yeah, one of our phones died here, so we're good.
Yeah.
we're having a lot of technical issues again as usual. But
What were we saying?
huh? We're talking about New Year's resolutions, whatever. Did I give any New Year's? I don't think
You
I have
didn't.
any.
The
I don't have
focus
any
was-
New
You've
Year's
just been
resolutions.
asking.
But I think you have not New Year's resolutions, but I think we this year we really want to just shift our focus
Yeah,
on nurturing our podcast and really putting our all into it.
yeah. I've always been trying
That's a
to,
goal.
but for me, it's like always been a constant process. Like I've always tried to tweak things
Yeah.
here and there. That's the reason I got the camera because I thought maybe, or we got the camera because I thought maybe like it could be a way of like elevating the video so we can have a better quality and like we won't have to use our phones as much
Well,
when it
one
comes to
thing
filming.
one thing that I feel like you worked on in 2023 was your editing.
Yeah, editing was a big part.
Really like
Making
Yeah,
sure
you're
that's
really
good.
at editing.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, and just developing skills because also like just from developing skills here, you might be able to use those skills further on in the future and whatever
Exactly.
other
Endeavors
endeavors you might have, right? Because it's not only video editing; it's like Photoshop. Like I can do whatever you want on Photoshop at this point,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, just developing those skills over time. Eventually, I got to teach you
I know.
a couple things here and there. We can't be using Canva out here for everything, okay? Even for you,
I like
you know,
Canva.
but you could probably
I use PicMonkey and Canva.
But you could probably learn Photoshop and like, you know,
it just seems intimidating.
you have so much more
It does
control with
what
it.
it does what needs to be done.
Okay. Yeah, so I was really trying to develop those skills.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the rest of the goals were related to like merchandise for the podcast, other video types. Like I know we've had the vlogs, but we've like, I didn't feel like the quality was up to par with what we should be putting out, which is why I chose not to put out the because we always talk about the vlog and you know we put out the first two,
Yeah.
but like our skills as vloggers were not developed enough to like come out with a podcast I thought was like worthy of everyone watching.
It's also we're still new to that side too. Like
Yeah,
I know we've had exposure in the past, but I think now we both realize like our style of vlogging is more like we need some kind of storyline for viewers to follow.
Exactly. Like what we did before, a lot of it was just pointing and shooting
Yeah.
and
Like here,
rarely
this is what we're
talking to the
doing.
camera.
Right.
Not even
right.
talking until it was just filming like B-roll.
Yeah, like you're showing like what.
Yeah.
Right, and I feel like we did do a lot of B-roll,
Yeah,
but not actually like.
talking to the camera and
Yeah.
saying where we are, what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because people need a through line when you're doing that kind of stuff. So having like some type of through line or some type of story to tell, whether it be our experiences or of whatever we're following at the time, like maybe telling the history of a place, but just something to keep the person engaged
Yeah.
and feel like we're not wasting time. I hate wasting people's time, which is why we also put work into editing the podcast video, because like if you're going to have someone sitting there and watching you talk for an hour and a half or whatever, you want to have them like, you know, put up a graphic of like what you're talking about to give them
Enjoy
something.
the visuals.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why also we invested in the camera. You know, we'll make it work. You know, I think we're like right now we're like on different sides of whether or not we're gonna keep this thing. I feel like, you know, eventually we'll make it work. Okay, there are different aspects. There are different strategies we can work.
You're
on.
a little more patient than me.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
So I'll trust you because
Yeah.
you're also the one that I feel like is dealing with it more hands-on than I'm not really
Yeah.
in charge of editing. So like that's a headache for you.
Exactly. So no, I'll figure it out.
If you say so.
But those are mainly my goals.
I don't
of
know,
course,
I feel like
outside
you
of
forgot
getting
a big
married.
one. Yeah, I was gonna say like
Yeah.
that was a huge goal from last year that
Yeah.
you is carrying on to this year.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
you know,
Inshallah.
inshallah by end of the year
Inshallah.
that will all be done. So
Yes.
yeah, you know. I'm just saying, man, you know, I've been putting that work, okay? But yeah, that was literally all I had, because for me it's like I don't think about, oh, the New Year's coming up, like what am I gonna do? If I want to do something or I'm like plan on doing something, I just start it.
Yeah.
Right? Like even when it comes to the merchandise,
Yeah.
like I know we kind of it fell off of it a bit, but like initially when I had the motivation, I was putting up vision boards.
Yeah, that actually is a vision board.
I literally made
It's
a
true.
vision board
I forgot.
of exactly what styles we might look into doing, like mood board. Sorry, mood board. And like the materials we might be using and like what the logo would look like, all that stuff. Like we were working on that a little bit. Of course, it got busy with like other stuff. But now that I feel like I've kind of locked down the editing part of it, like before it used to take me multiple days. Now it's taking me like 1 day. Not 1 day, maybe 1.5 days, 2 days maybe. I have like an extra 1 or 2 days to actually focus on those other aspects of it. And then if you want to make other content, that's going to take more time as well, right?
Yeah.
Like there was one point I was like, I should just quit my full-time job. I was like,
I've had that thought too.
No, but that might be a little crazy. I feel like, yeah, exactly. Do you ever have these like, what if they just fire me? It was like,
but you know what though?
Yeah.
Maybe we should say this on the podcast. It's fine, whatever.
That's whatever.
But sometimes I'm like,
yeah,
if it was my time to go from this job, then I could put my all into the podcast.
Exactly.
And like do like, daily videos and like grow the other platforms too. And
that's why I envied like your process. Like for you graduated
school,
and you literally had, you think you mentioned it when you first came on, like you literally had the summer to figure out everything.
Yeah.
And if you didn't figure it all out, then you would have to go on to like a full-time job, right? Yeah. And alhamdulillah, it actually worked out. Everything went exactly as planned. Maybe even more so. More like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I don't think I would have been able to do everything that I did if I had a full-time job at the same time.
Exactly.
It's very hard. And you like, Amir and I always talk about like, when it comes to like your day job, like because that's your priority, like the podcast is still a priority, but it's hard, right? Because sometimes like we'll need to upload something, and usually we have our episodes scheduled, but like there are little things like the admin stuff that we have to do before the episode goes live, and I'm like, crap, like I'm so sorry, I'm literally stuck in meetings all day, and I don't have a second to like, I can't just pull up our YouTube page in the middle of an in-person meeting or whatever the case may be. And so like it's hard. We still make it work, and we do the best that we can, but when you have big dreams, you're also going to make some sacrifices sometimes. And so that's kind of just, I feel like I can feel it, inshallah this year is going to be a really good year for the podcast.
The thing about it, go ahead. No, I cut you off there. My bad. Yeah, I just cut. I gotta cut you. Okay. No, but the thing about the internet is that like it can go sometimes from 0 to 100, so you never know. It could be a month from now, right? It could be a week from now. You never know. Like one video that you put up just randomly blows up because of one thing, and then you have like you have a following, and you build them into loyal followers, because that's a big issue. That's one thing to know about the internet, is that you can gain a large following, but gaining a large following is different from gaining a loyal following.
Facts.
Right? Like you see a lot of, especially with TikTok these days, how quickly it can blow up someone. You see someone who blows up from 1 or 2 TikToks. They have like a little shtick or something that they're doing, and then they get tired. The person gets tired of that shtick. Yeah, or the people who are watching get tired of it. Whichever one comes first, they try and change up a little bit, and then the following is like, I'm not interested anymore, right? But if you build a loyal following over time, like you have done yourself, Aysha,
slow burns are always the best.
Exactly.
Like.
Then you are more likely to have longevity in the realm,
because it also teaches you a lot too. It's like like if fast success isn't always great success, because it's like you don't have those opportunities to make mistakes. You don't have those opportunities to like, you have, especially in terms of social media, it's like if you have overnight 1 million eyes looking at you, those are 1 million people that are going to be judging every single move you make if you happen to fall, But it's like if you have only 5,000 people watching you, okay, they might be like, oh, this person is like falling off or whatever, but you have time to make those mistakes, so that by the time you get to the 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, millions, you've put in those, they say like 10,000 hours. Like once you have put in 10,000 hours into something, you're like an expert in that field. Like the best case example that I can give is like Jackie Aina. She's been in the industry. She started making videos in like 2009, and she's still relevant and still popping. Like she just only launched a brand 3 years ago. A lot of people have all this fast fame and fast success. They launch random brands that people don't even know what your brand is. You're launching a brand, and then like, a couple of years go by and it's not really doing well. But it's like, it's that slow success that like teaches you all of those like really key like lessons that like you should be learning along the way.
For sure.
I think the worst, like the thing that I've heard that some influencers mention is that like whenever they do blow up, like randomly a video blows up on them, but they have like a large history, but they're still called an overnight success.
Yeah.
So like you've been on YouTube for like 10 plus years, and then in year 11 or something, one of your videos blows up and everybody's like an overnight success, blah blah blah. It has like, you know, has gained a large following. Recently, it's like, nah, man, I've been doing this for multiple years, man.
Yeah.
I have a discography here, and it actually helps a lot to have a discography because,
What is that?
or not discography. Discography is usually like when an artist has like multiple previous albums. I don't know what you would call it on YouTube.
Like an archive.
An archive,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
content,
Then people can go back and start watching that
Yeah.
stuff, right? So that actually does benefit you, because a lot of times people don't realize is that a lot of YouTubers, especially people who have been on for multiple years, like a lot of the AdSense or the money they're making is actually from people going back into their archives.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is always still accruing views. Of course, it's not like a large amount, but it adds up, especially if you have a large archive.
Yeah.
That's another part of it. So yeah, inshallah, that's basically what the goal is, just to grow this channel and have more of a growth mindset.
I think you guys are doing like so well. Like I'm always so proud to
We're
see like how
trying,
consistent
man.
you guys have been. But like also when you like engagement is a huge thing in social media, and like the fact that you guys don't even have 10,000 subscribers yet, but like you consistently get 1,000 or more views on every single video, like that is
Almost
a lot.
2,000 now, yeah.
That's a lot. Like that's not normal. Like people who have millions of followers now that maybe weren't consistent in going back to YouTube, like they barely get like 5,000 views now, you know?
Yeah.
I think
So
like
it's like it's a big thing.
I was watching a video where someone was talking about like when they're selling their brand, or not their brand, but their channel, or what they have to offer. I think like most companies, or most of these companies, are expecting like 2 to 5% of engagement. Like that's good, or something like that. It's really low. I thought it was like in the, like 50 to 40.
Yeah.
But really it's in the like low, less than 10%. That's actually considered good.
Dang.
Yeah. Because like if you have 1 million followers, maybe 10% would be what, 100,000 of that.
That's
So-
like very high.
Yeah.
Very, very high.
Exactly.
Like on average, it's usually, like about 3 to 5% is like ideal.
Wow.
Obviously, if it's 1 and lower, like that's just kind of like,
Yeah.
needs some work. But yeah, like anywhere from like 2 to 5% is like pretty average.
Yeah, because it's all a numbers game. At the end of the day, the
Yeah.
company's like, hey, if we can at least get 10,000 eyes on this,
Yeah.
they'll be happy, right? So yeah, that's definitely a thing that helps. The fact that we have pretty good engagement on everything.
Yeah, and I think like doing things like being able to connect with people, and just, you know, although we're sitting behind a camera and there's lights and green screen and all that kind of stuff, like we're still just everyday people at the end of the day, and connecting with you guys, I think, reminds everyone, including ourselves, that we're just ordinary people.
Maybe a goal for you guys for 2024 can be building on that connection. You know, you mentioned doing in-person events, doing your lives more often. Like, I think connection is like the best way to build and continue to build a loyal audience, because people feel like they're a part of something.
Exactly.
So it's like when you eventually create your merch line, or when you have those in-person events, like people feel like they're a part of something.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna be working on those for the next year.
And I think what you said about like the weekly or bi-weekly check-ins, like like meetings, like actual business meetings, like 1 hour, it's a Zoom call or in person or whatever, and you guys are literally planning out the next week or the next month or whatever, like doing that weekly or bi-weekly. I think that'll like take you guys over.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You know,
We never really asked you, like, what are your goals? It doesn't even have to be for the year, but like, just some goals that you want to mention in general.
I wanna build, like, one of my biggest goals for this year is like building on like my brand, and like the merch line is something that like I wanted to start for years, just to kind of like see, because I had never started anything and whatever, and like I'm still super proud of that. And like there's gonna be a new launch like in January, inshallah. Well, this month, in a few weeks actually. But I think just like building on that, like I want to be a brand owner. Like I want people to like be able to like shop items that I create, like basically taking what I care about in terms of content and like all the brands I already share, but creating that for myself. Because I think like I enjoy creating content. I'm blessed enough to work with like these amazing brands that I've been able to like, you know, work with for years now, but I still kind of sometimes feel like I'm still working for someone else, even though technically it's like they're coming to me, but it's like, but they're coming to me with like key things that they want, like the type of content that they want. Like I feel like I'm almost like working for someone. I want to be able to just like pour into like my business, like create something that can stand alone, and this is like my brand. Like this is not like it's not dependent on another brand paying me or whatever. It's like I pour into this, I'm hopefully investing my own money into things so that it can like grow in the future, so that I don't have to work with as many brands in the future, or like I still always want to create content, because obviously I feel like that's how people connect and relate to me. But I want to be able to do it like just because I can, not because I necessarily have to sustain my lifestyle.
Long-term goals, right? It's
exactly. So like 2024 is about building those, like the foundation of all of that.
For sure.
It's kind of already in the start. But like building a brand, I feel like a lot of people don't realize it takes a lot of money.
For sure.
A lot of money.
It's
expensive. There's a lot of mistakes that happen before even launching. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people discredit that when creators start to try to launch something, because they don't realize like, oh no, people are actually putting in their life savings into these things, and when they launch it, like they hope that people will enjoy it. So like that's my goal for this year, is like,
inshallah,
alhamdulillah, I've been able to, I've been doing this now, this will be the 7th year, right? 2017 was when I went full time, so this is the 7th year I've been doing it full time, which is crazy. It's almost a decade. So I think it's finally time where I just take a lot of the money that I've been saving and investing and invest that back into myself and like create something. So that's my goal for 2024. There's some other goals as well, but that's like my main focus. And then I just have places that I want to travel more to. We got to travel a lot
I feel like this is the year that we saw each other the most.
We did. We actually did, which is crazy. So yeah, I actually was just writing like places that I want to hit this year.
What were you thinking?
So I wrote 2024 travel: Japan, Turkey, Australia, Singapore, South Korea, London, somewhere in Africa, Mexico City, and Umrah, which is not a place, but Saudi Arabia. Inshallah. So
we'll see. Some of those spots are double. Like you've been to them before.
Well, some of them are because like there's weddings. I'm going to Turkey again for a wedding this summer.
But which one do you want to go? Like, which one's your
Japan.
top?
Well, Umrah, that's obviously. But like for
outside
travel,
of Umrah,
Japan. That's been on my list since 2016.
Let me know when you go.
And it has to happen. It has to happen. I'm trying to. I probably won't be able to go in the spring, but I hear Japan in the fall is like beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, because they have the beautiful foliage and all that too. So yeah, inshallah.
You gotta let me know when that happens.
Yeah,
because I've always wanted to go to Japan too. Still.
Those are a few of my goals.
I want to actually just go over, like, I know we've kind of gone over our time here, but like the things that have happened in 2023, just a little recap of it. I did write them all down, but we're kind of using the phone as
see how good your memory is.
So let's see what happened this year. Okay, I feel like the just for pop culture reasons, like the main thing that might have happened was like Barbenheimer. That was one of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I think that one kind of exposed how it's almost like nowadays the only way something can really like pop off or become really popular and make a lot of money is if it becomes a meme on the internet. I feel like that was kind of exposing that whole thing, because I think the culture of going to the movie theater was kind of lost with COVID.
Yeah.
That's
true.
So
to like kind of build that, people didn't really develop those habits for almost 3 years almost, right?
Yeah.
So now they're kind of finding interesting ways of doing that, and I feel like memes or like doing it for the virality of it, or for the what would you call it? Like
that's the best way to describe the virality of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
for
like
that
a phenomenon.
Reason.
It was
exactly.
I think. Well, I guess I wasn't necessarily I don't think I'm the target audience for Oppenheimer, so I didn't really see much of what was going on in terms of marketing for that. But Barbie, like, that's gonna be studied in history books, like, or like marketing books, because that was the craziest, most insane marketing push I have ever seen for anything. Like genuinely anything. Like,
and I don't know how it happened. Like, did it happen organically?
Well, no, I think they planned it, but I think what made it like even worse, dare I say, was because there was the anticipation of the strike. So basically the 6-month marketing budget and all of that, all of the things, they pushed it up into 2 months, I believe. So like all of the brand collaborations, all that, like I'm telling you, I got like probably about 3 or 4 PR packages every single week for Barbie.
Oh my god.
There was Barbie everything. Every single brand had a Barbie collaboration in terms of beauty.
Like the child in us would have loved that.
I know, exactly.
That's crazy.
I did get one Barbie and I kept it in the top.
You got a Barbie?
I did. It was like a nice Barbie too. I'm like, I'm keeping that. She's black too. I'm like,
no way.
My future daughter's Barbie, inshallah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was definitely insane.
That was a big thing on the internet for a while. And I feel like before that, was Despicable Me after or before that? Because remember, Despicable Me was a big part of it too. You didn't see that one where a bunch of guys would go to the movie theater in like suits and they wear suits and watch down there and then like, okay, you know, I'm on a different side of the internet.
No idea what you're talking about.
And then after that, of course, was the strike that happened.
Yeah.
And I feel like no one really knows how that's gonna affect like entertainment for the next few years, because like so many things were delayed, and also because there was a big shift towards like reality TV, and everybody was just more interested in reality TV. So it didn't feel like you guys were getting hit that badly, but
I feel like we felt the shift in LA. Obviously,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
There were strikes everywhere. Like you could see the picket lines and stuff outside of all of the studios.
Yeah.
All the red carpets and stuff. Because for a while, like I was going to a lot of like red carpets or just like previews and stuff like that. All of those were shut down. Or if they were, they would try to get a lot of influencers there because the actors couldn't go. But then like our management side was being like, you know what, maybe don't go because it might be a bad look. So like that was definitely like really, really big in the like influencer / just LA scene in general.
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't realize how much it was actually impacting you.
Yeah.
And were there any other big before I move on, were there any big pop culture things that went on?
Pop culture?
Okay, forget that. Forget pop culture. Let's talk about the important things. So also in April of this year, Taylor Swift, forget it.
She had like her biggest year ever.
Yeah. But also in April of this year, we have to mention these, of course, but like in April this year was the civil war started in Sudan. I believe that's when it officially started. Yeah. Between, I think it was like can't remember the exact abbreviations, but they're essentially
the military, like the government military versus like another power.
I wrote it all down. I had it all in there, but that essentially happened and displaced, I believe it's almost 6 million people in all of Sudan. I think 10,000 plus people have been killed from it. So that was definitely a big part of what was going on internationally. And unfortunately, because of the media here, like we didn't hear much about it. We had to hear it from places like TikTok and other places on social media and our own friends and family who are more connected to that. And then, of course, in October, we had the situation go down in Palestine with, our brothers and sisters out there who are...
Which is still happening
after 85 days, 86 days.
87 now?
Yeah,
it's been... Something like that.
And unfortunately, like, I thought the mass media would pick it up at some point. But, like, even now, it's barely mentioned. It's just completely brushed over. Of course, there are people like us still mentioning it here and on other social media platforms, but you can definitely like tell that like the momentum has been slowing down. But of course, there are still people out there trying to like continue to keep that momentum up and continue to speak about it, even though it seems like at this point, like the mainstream media and the governments are not going to do anything about it. At least if they're not going to do anything about it, we have to make people witness what's going on there. And just pray that eventually something does happen and then someone does wake up to this. You know, we have to shout out the Houthis in Yemen who are currently blocking the shipments going through I forget what the canal is.
The Red Sea.
Yeah.
But there's that little canal.
Yeah, they're currently fighting back. I pray for them because, the U.S. government is not someone you kind of want to mess with. So inshallah, they're helped in some way. But those are two like probably the most important things that are going on this year. Of course, there's also the thing that's been constantly happening and continues to happen in the Congo with the people who are being exploited for their work to dig for cobalt.
It's crazy that I had never heard of that before this.
I knew about it for years. I thought people knew about this.
I didn't
know that.
Because it was a big thing in like the tech industry as well, right?
Yeah.
And there are actually companies who are now ethically, like there's I think they call it the ethical phone. I need to search it up, but there's a phone where they source all of their materials ethically and like get it from ethical sources. So, you know, and it's also an Android, just saying. So
let us know what the phone is. That's kind of,
I need to find out. I need to find out exactly where the exact name for, but it has some ethic in the name somewhere. But that's also something that's been constantly going on for many years, but recently started getting a lot of light onto it as well. So yeah, those are the main things that we've been talking about and trying to shine a light on this year. And inshallah, by the end of this year, a lot of those issues are resolved.
Inshallah.
And inshallah, Palestine will be free.
Yes. Exactly. But yeah, so as long as y'all don't have anything else to say, I know we've been here for a long time, almost 2 hours.
I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, thank you again for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. You know, follow us for this year if you want to see us grow and you know be part of the family, be one of our cousins.
Let us know some of your goals.
Exactly.
Let us know some of your goals.
Exactly.
Or have a discussion
on
or
Instagram,
like
TikTok.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, continue to interact with us. We'll try and get back to Sara will, but I'll be there too.
Amir reads them, guys.
I read them. Okay. But yeah.
And thank you, Aysha, for joining us.
Oh yes,
it's always a pleasure having you on.
And Yassine for being, you know, a little audience member here.
Emotional support.
Exactly. But yeah, thank you again for listening. We'll see y'all next week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.